Hi everyone, I'm Nancy with Ladybugs Flowers and Rustic Decor, and today we're going to be making a little sign with this little piece I bought probably about a year ago. But anyways, what I have done is took my sander, because it was a real thick material, and sanded over it to make it like a rougher filling. I didn't like the slick so much, but I also want to paint it too because that's not my color. I did take off the little jute string that was holding it because I want to put fabric on it. But what I want to do is paint it a darker brown. But I am going to mix in some of the lighter and also some black. So we're going to paint it, and then we might rough it up a little more. Get that all mixed in together. And you do want to paint it your edges and all. Some people would leave it because they do like that the white grayish look. That's just not me. So we are going to get this finished, painted. Even though I did rough it up, the texture of this sign, it's like a little tag sign. I the light brown over it just a little bit, just to lighten it up, using the same brush that's got the darker in it. We're just kind of going to stroke over it a little bit, not trying to get the whole thing. And if we do, we'll go over a little bit with the dark again. Just trying to make it look like a rustic look. And I noticed I didn't get all my edges on my sign as well, so let me go around that. And get that. And you can see what I'm doing. Just kind of blending it in. I roughened it up trying to make it be like it's a plank, like a pallet or barn wood. Just sticking a little bit of that dark in there with it again. That's the way it's looking so far. You can see. Then what I want to do is I have cut out. I bought these little hearts at the Dollar Tree, not the Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and I traced them and cut out. But I do want to put these, I'm going to paint these too, they're not staying that bright red, underneath. And so what I'm wanting to do is wet these just a little to get the rough part, like the rigid part. To it. I'm going to use the same brush. That doesn't matter. And this is not real thick, so it's not going to be much to rip off. I might need a little more. Whatever which side that's wanting to come off, and it's the opposite side that I was trying. So we'll go with it. And we'll roughen this up just a little bit to match that one. Which they don't have to match exactly. Alright, let's see if I can't get all of that paint. My water's got it all in it too. But what I want to do is paint these just somewhat a little white. So we're going to use our white chalk paint. And just kind of go over them. Do the same thing on both of them. Then I want to go back over them just a little bit with my light brown. to give them a rustic look. But leaving some of that white in some of the grooves. I about peeled away the cardboard on that one. So, alright, and that's the way it's going to look. Just have a little rustic. And of course that white is shining out more. But looking at it, when I take a picture of it, you'll be able to see. So we're going to do the same thing for this one. I'm wanting some of the white to stay, but wanting it to have a rustic look to it. And it looks like I'm accomplishing it. Do I not have a... Maybe a little more than what I wanted, but anyways, we're going to set them up there. Then we are going to take some of our red to paint these that I got at the Dollar General. It was 4 of them. And I'm going to mix that red in with my darker brown. The mixture that I mixed. Because, I mean, I want them to be red, but not so bright. And it might take a couple of coats on these. They might need to be roughened up because they're not metal. They are some, must be like a cardboard like material too. They're kind of slick as well. I do want to get in there. You don't have to paint both sides because one side is going to lay down on the sign. I'm just kind of sorry. Still got my paint up there. Going over. And I must... And then we are going to take the little sander and just kind of sand over it. Not taking away, just bringing out some of that brighter red. And that's the way that would look. Not wanting the whole thing to be that way. Just getting a little bit of it out. Alright. So we do want to put some hot glue. And what I'm going to do is just line them up with that top. They ain't got to be all the way in the middle, but trying to get them to be. Give me some more glue. And then I'm going to stick that other one right beneath it, giving it a little space. Trying to get them somewhat even. And then there's them. Then we are going to glue these on. But I do want to wrap my small. Thought I brought it over. Jute string around. I must not have. I've scattered some small. So what I'm going to do is put a little dot of glue on the back. To where that stays. And I'm wrapping it around right in the middle. And cut that off. I've got to find my other. And put another dot of glue back there. Same thing to the other one. And then cut that off. And drop you a little glue back there to hold that end. And you could fix it how you want it. Like that. Get that glue that I can't seem to not string. Everywhere. And then I also have these little keys. But maybe we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and get this glued on. And basically, you're going to have to just glue it by the string you put. So we're going to, and it'll set out from that other. But you're going to want it to stay. So press down on it. Then I do want to take, I'm gonna make a little bow for this in the middle of my hearts. Just with this string, and I might need another string instead of this one because it's big at the end. Not want it to hang down that far, but just giving me enough room to and I think we might as well kind of layer it up. That way it's not just one little bow sticking out there. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other ones. And we'll get that fixed. To where they're the same size or right at it. And I'm just going to take another piece of string and tie them together. Well, and then you cut that off, the extra of that string that you got them tied together with. Get that out of my way. I don't know why I threw it right on top of that. Alright. Brain brush. See how we got them going. And then we're going to stick them right in the middle. Of our heart. Just giving it some little extra. And that's the way that's looking. I think it's turning out really cute. Then I do want to take my little half bead. I know I got them over here stashed somewhere. And stick one right in the middle of each one. Get some of that paint. I am going to use the red. Well, but it's going to be mixed with that brown. I'm going to put a little glue on the back of that. Try to get that paint all the way around. It don't have to be bright. We're going for the dull look, rustic. Stick that right in the middle of your little bows. Getting one more. I'm just kind of painting over them too with my fingers. And stick that one in. Then we do want to take, I do, some of this material. This red, I'm just going to rip it down through here where I've already cut some out. Lay it over here to the side. Then I had already had some of that cut out. So what I'm going to do is just cut it and rip. And I'm going to do it one more time, if I can. And we'll cut out that extra that's down here at the bottom. Then I want to take some of my off-white material and do the same thing, just to give it some color. And I want to cut this one in half. not color, but bright, a little brightness. Instead of it all being dull, bring it to life a little bit with some white. I am going to cut a few more pieces because I've done the shorter end. And one more. You want to get that extra string off from around where you ripped it. So, got my nose going. And since we got this, I think I'm going to cut a little patch out. And stick it down here at the bottom. Just to give it a and then maybe cut off a piece of this off-white, smaller. And then some of this black and tan looking color. A little small one to go on top of that. I'm going to gather it up where you can see that white a little more. Or the off-white, beige. Not really beige, but... Alright, that's how our little patch looks so far. We're going to set this up here while we make our bow. Cut me off a piece of our string. Lay it out like I always do. Get everything out of my way. And then I'm going to loop this back and forth until I got a little bit of a tail sticking out. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Not wanting my loops to be real big, we can cut off the string part. But I do want it to be the opposite direction, so we'll do it that way. Take a piece of our black, do the same thing, which I'm just going to loop it already. I think I'm going to take it in the opposite direction, which it really don't make a difference because we're looping it back and forth. Then take some of our red. We won't have enough to go back that way. Some more of our off-white. Let me get some of that string off. And that's all we're doing is just looping it back and forth. Want all this to be in the middle. Nothing hard to it. People might think it's easier to have a bow maker, and it might be for them. But I believe I'm going to leave it just like that. So we're going to tie this up. And bring out all of our fabric that ain't the one. Let me get a hold of the one that I jerked so hard on. Find the ends of it. There it is. Well, that one ended up coming out. Remembering we wasn't wanting our little loops to be all that big. And then what I'm going to do is just cut off this extra down here, because if we left it long, we would cover up our sign. So you can always use your little pieces too, or your little patch like I made. Alright, so we want to get this glued up here at the top. Cut this string off. A little messy bow. You want to see all the material you got. Just fluff it up. And then I wasn't thinking about a bead going in the middle of that, but we are going to put one. We done got the paint all over our hands anyways. Might as well. Not wanting it all over that fabric though. Get that stuck in right in the middle. And then I knew I had a extra one of these and it's not real thick. We could use a little bit of all of it if I have another one. Really don't need to be no longer than that. Get one of our white pieces that is longer. And we're going to try to get this stuck through. So I'm just going to twist it. Get it stuck. Well, it's bigger than what I was thinking. Can't take that black as long as I can the rest of it. What we're going to do is just tie us a little knot to have that black material though in with it. To be able to hang it from. Stick my finger down here where it don't go no further than that. Then just cut you extra off. And then you can just roll it around how you want to. But that would be our little Valentine decor. I think I'd like to have a little patch up here to the side. And put my black down first and then the red and put a little white on the outside. Right here. All right. There's our little sign. And I think it turned out just as cute. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And always remember, you are enough. And have a blessed day. Thank you.